Welcome, sweet friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy. My husband is Paul. We're so happy you have joined us today. The other day we had a 4th of July party and we have a ton of leftovers. We need to take care of these leftovers now. We're going to make some of them into completely new meals. We're going to update our freezer inventory, meal plans, the whole bit. But we need to do it now. The whole point of having leftovers is dealing with them promptly and efficiently. We don't want to shove things in the back of our refrigerator and have them go bad or forget we have them. We need to deal with them now. Zero food waste right now, with everything being so expensive, should be the #1 priority on your food budget. If you process these items, if you freeze them, if you make them into other meals, you are going to save yourself a ton of money. So we're going to get right into the kitchen today and see what we have, what we're going to do with it, so that nothing goes to waste. We have future meals. We basically save a truckload of money. So let's turn this camera around, get into the kitchen. We had a wonderful 4th of July party. We have food left over that needs to be addressed. You're seeing all different kinds of meat. There's ground beef under there, hot dogs, beans, sausage and peppers, tons of bread. Sfogliatelles are an Italian pastry. Everybody took what they wanted home, but now what we need to do is deal with this food immediately. Because if we don't, things are going to go bad. We've got to consolidate containers, 5 eggs in a giant plate, meal plan around these items, prep and freeze what we can't use. Some things like the ground beef cannot be refrozen, so we need to deal with that in a different way. So we're just going to take you on this journey with us. It's going to be quick, it's going to be efficient, and it's going to be motivating. These are all things that you all can do, zero food waste, with the price of everything today. So let's get prepping. And as we go along, we're going to be adding everything to our inventories. And I'm going to also make menu plan using up what we have. Now, the first thing are these deviled eggs. I'm taking them out of this big dish, putting them in here. And we know we have to eat these probably today. So we've got these 5 deviled eggs. I'm going to add just a little bit more mayo. Now we could eat these just like this, but I think what would be better is if we make them into egg salad. Put this on some rolls or bread, and this is done. Sometimes when you have something like a deviled egg, you eat 1 or 2, and then I don't feel like eating another one. Cooked eggs are not going to keep that long. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, and we have lunch for today. Here are our leftover baked beans. There is a lot here. There is no way we're going to be able to eat these all right away. Baked beans freeze beautifully. Just leave a little space on the top for them. We have got some beautiful bacon in here, and I am going to make 2 containers of these because they will freeze great. We can take them out of the freezer when we want, defrost them in the refrigerator, and just reheat them. So here's 1 and 2. By dealing with this right away and adding it to our freezer inventory, we have now avoided food waste. There's 2 side servings for Paul and I in the freezer, ready to go on a night when we may not feel like making a side. I'm going to add this to my freezer inventory, pop these right in the freezer. We had so many yummy desserts. People are so generous, but we have 6 sfogliatelles, which are an Italian pastry. What do we do with these? There's no way Paul and I can eat these. So what we're going to do is take a freezer bag that we have kept breads and cakes in the freezer. We wash them out thoroughly inside and out with soap and water. And now we can reuse them. We do not reuse freezer bags if they contain raw meat ever. So this just had bread in it. So what I'm going to do now, take these pastries, put them right in here. And I'm going to give you a little tip. Do you know how to reheat pastries beautifully? Put them in a 350-degree oven for all of 10 minutes. They will re-crisp and be delicious. So I'm going to take as much air as I can out of this. We're going to seal it. And now if somebody should drop by, we have some really lovely fancy pastries to share with them. What I'm going to do is add this again right to my freezer inventory. Pop these right in the freezer. So now we come to leftover meats. The sausage, which I'm going to separate, were never frozen, so we can freeze these. Then we have 3 bratwursts left over. These were never frozen, so we can freeze these. And we have a bunch of hot dogs. Never frozen, we can freeze these. On the bottom layer is ground beef. This is a pound. We made quarter-pound burgers. So what I'm going to do with this, because this was already frozen and defrosted, we don't want to refreeze this ground beef. What I am going to do is take this and we're going to quickly turn these into some delicious meatballs, which we will prepare and stick in the freezer. So we'll have meatballs done now. We can freeze those meatballs after the meat has been cooked. So refreezing meat after it's cooked is a totally different situation, and we're very comfortable doing that. So let's make us some meatballs. So we've got a pound of ground beef. I have got a lot of leftover hamburger, hot dog, and Italian rolls left. I'm going to show you in a minute what we're going to do with the rest of them. But for right now, I'm going to use 2 as soft breadcrumbs in these meatballs. We've got a little bit of garlic powder, got some black pepper, we have an egg, some grated Parmesan cheese. First thing I'm going to do is just take the bread and throw it in the food processor. This is just 2 rolls. Might as well make fresh breadcrumbs to put in it. Beautiful. I'm not wasting the bread. This is going to make these meatballs so light and fluffy because they are soft and fresh breadcrumbs. Okay. I added about half of those breadcrumbs. The rest I'm going to put in the refrigerator. 1 egg, a little garlic powder, black pepper to taste, and then instead of salt, I'm going to use this leftover grated Parmesan cheese, which is going to make these meatballs heavenly. Now I'm going to use my 2 greatest kitchen tools, my hands, and I am just going to mix this all together. I make my meatballs somewhere between a walnut and a golf ball size. And the less you mix them, the less you handle this meat, the more tender these meatballs will be. Now what we're doing is creating another freezer-ready meal. All you have to do with this is if you have some tomato sauce, open it up, boil some pasta, you're tired, you've got a meal. These meatballs will be cooked and ready to go. How about a meatball wedge? Just take these out, add some tomato sauce, some toasty bread. Oh my goodness, delicious. Now I'm just baking these at 375 degrees for about 20 minutes. And I did line the tray with foil. They're on a wire rack so that the grease can drip down. They're gonna be so good. Let's get these in the oven. Now, while our meatballs are cooking, we're going to deal with the rest of the meat. We're going to separate the hot dogs, the bratwursts, and the sausage into packages. This way they can be frozen, added to our freezer inventory list, and incorporated into our meal plans as we want to use them. So we sealed our bratwurst, hot dogs, and sausage. Again, this meat was never frozen. It was bought fresh. We dated it. This will go into our freezer inventory. We still have hot dogs left because the larger package of the Black Bear hot dogs at ShopRite for 40 ounces, which was 2.5 pounds, natural casing, beef franks, were $9.99 for 2.5 pounds. That is a great, great price. We're going to continue freezing these, and you're saying, well, Em, why not just take the package and put it in the freezer? I'll show you why. These hot dogs are linked together. So what we're going to do is cut them apart because I don't want a whole bunch of hot dogs at once. So we're going to cut them apart and freeze them in packages of 3. That's why we're taking them out of the original package and doing it this way.
When I package food for the freezer, I like to package it flat. This way I can consolidate room in the freezer and get more food into it. This is perfect and ready to go to the freezer.
In the time it took us to food saver our meats, the meatballs were done. Now I am going to let them cool slightly, and then they will go into a freezer safe container into the freezer for future meals. Prepping your food right away, dealing with leftovers, saves you hundreds and hundreds of dollars, trust us. We have a bunch of these club rolls. They're like little mini Italian breads. What we're going to do with these is split them open, and we are going to make garlic bread that we are going to put in the freezer for later use. This way we are not wasting the bread. We'll have delicious garlic bread in the freezer ready to pop in the oven at any minute. So let's get going. Now, we're not used to having all this extra bread. We usually do a sourdough loaf a week that we make homemade. But because it was a barbecue, we have a lot of extra bread. What I'm going to do with this is so easy. And again, we're not wasting anything. So in this pan, I melted about 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now I'm just going to take my silicone brush and I am going to brush the bread with the buttery mixture. And I'm going to do that to each one. Now we have all these rolls buttered. I have everything sesame seasoning blend, which is basically everything but the bagel seasoning. So I love to do our garlic bread with that because it's got dried garlic, it's got onion, it's got a little bit of everything. So I'm just sprinkling this on. Then I have to take a little extra garlic, gently sprinkle that on. I mean, you can go and buy frozen garlic bread in the supermarket. It's so expensive. And you know exactly what you're putting on this too. And I always add a little extra onion powder too. But of course you add whatever seasonings you all like. You know, whatever works for you. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to take this and put it in the freezer just like this, flat, until this bread is frozen. The garlic bread is all frozen, nice and solid. Now, I just have a plastic Ziploc bag here, and I'm just going to lay them in the bag. I take and I squeeze as much air as I can out of it. Now, these are all individually frozen, so you're going to be able to get them out individually when the time comes. You're going to preheat your oven to about 375. You're going to take out the ones you want, keep them frozen, put them on a sheet, cook them for about 10 minutes or so until they are heated through and crispy. And if you want them soft, then wrap them in tin foil. Keep them frozen until you're ready to use them. So we really took care of a lot of the food left over from the party, but there's still things left. What happens is leftovers are usually stored in the big containers that you serve them in. So there's big bowls in my fridge, and there's big lock and lock containers filled with just a little bit of food. Now we need to get in there and make more room in our refrigerator by transferring things into smaller containers so you know what you have, bring them to the front of the refrigerator and use them promptly. So let's turn this camera around and get back into the kitchen. I'm going to give you some ideas on what to do with leftover hot dog rolls and these soft seeded sandwich rolls, which are basically hamburger rolls. They would same price, and these look better. You can make a garlic toast out of them. You can use them for sandwiches. I love to do with these little sandwich rolls is make mini pizzas. I'm going to give you a tip. You can flatten them if you want, but I would do them this way. Put the sauce and the cheese on this side because this way they don't get soggy. When you make mini pizzas on this side, they tend to get a little soggy. If you do it top up and bottom up, They stay nice and crisp and delicious. All you have to do is take a little pizza sauce and some cheese of your choice, put it on the top and toast them in your oven. Bread pudding, breadcrumbs. You can make toasted sandwiches with them. The hot dog ones as well, just a different shape. Make paninis. It's limitless what you can do with these. Grind them up, make them breadcrumbs, store them in the refrigerator. Don't let this bread go to waste. Throw it in the freezer if you're not going to use it right away. But these are just some great ideas on how to use these. Here's the leftover fruit salad. My sister-in-law makes such an amazing fruit salad. This we know we are going to have to eat really quickly. With our egg salad sandwich today, we're going to have a side of fruit salad. We'll also use this for dessert the next couple of nights. So healthy, beautiful, prepped. Cover that. This can go back into the fridge and we're going to add it to our menu plan. Here we have tortellini salad with vegetables and olives. This is something that's going to have to be eaten quickly as well. This is a huge container. So first thing I'm going to do is transfer it into a smaller container just for storage purposes and to have more space in the refrigerator. This fits in much better. We're going to add this to our meal plan within the next day or two as well. So here we have some leftover sauteed peppers and onions, olive oil, and garlic. That goes with the sausage wedges we made. Again, I'm transferring this to a smaller container. This is also something we are going to have to use up pretty quickly. I can add these to an omelet, to the tortellini salad. This is just freeing up space in my fridge, and it just makes the leftovers a little less overwhelming. We hope this video was super motivating. We ask that you go through your refrigerator, see what you have, update your inventories, your refrigerator inventory, your freezer inventory. Keep the food rotated so nothing is spoiling. We made meatballs. We have garlic bread for the future. We have egg salad for lunch. It works out so well when you deal with things immediately. So we just want to encourage you to keep up with your zero food waste, make new meals out of what you already have, preserve food right away. Remember, the freezer is your friend. That is my motto. I love that. We hope this video motivates you to either use up the food you have or preserve it so it doesn't go bad. We ask that you please give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Please come on in and be part of our Frugal family. Leave us a comment down below. Tell us how you're doing on your zero food waste journey. Are you using up those leftovers? Are you freezing foods right away? Are you making leftovers into new and exciting meals? Please share with us down below because it doesn't only encourage us, but our viewers as well. We ask you to be well. We ask you to be safe. And above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video, may God greatly bless you.